He is a wonderful, fun-loving, always smiling young boy. He loves school, and anytime you see him, he's always smiling. His disability is hydrocephalus. He's had surgery. He's had to have a shunt put in. He does have seizures, but you would never know because he just loves life. He enjoys school, and when you see him and you talk with him, he just answers your questions with a big smile.
He ended up getting ready to go to school and ended up having his shunt went out on him while he was in a tub. And I ended up taking him to Northos, and they shipped him to Baton Rouge, and they discovered that his shunt had went out. And during that time, he had to have an external shunt because his brain wasn't functioning at that time. And he ended up having a stroke and a seizure at the same time. Yeah, he used to get around so good. Now he's
I used to run down the road and stuff.
A lot of activities that he used to do, he can't much do anymore. Sit back with his walking, his academic. He sit back with mostly everything right now. Yeah, but he's not retaining. He forgets a lot of stuff, then he'll come back. It's hard for him to retain right now. Jaheim started getting Tarc services after May 2011, after he had his first brain surgery, which was May 6, 7, and 8. And after he was released from the hospital, I needed services for Jaheim, and I came in to Tarc to get those services. He had stopped breathing at birth, and that my placenta had separated from him. And Jaheim had actually died at birth, and they brought Jaheim back. And he ended up going to Our Lady on the Lake, I want to say around June 23rd, 2002, after I had him shortly, and he ended up getting a shunt put in.
Like bad headaches, and it hurt really bad, and maybe it'll come down some more, and then it'll come down, and like it don't really be hurting, but it hurt in the inside, and then it'll come back hot, like on my face and stuff. It be hot. Then I just tell Mama, and she'll take me to the hospital, and they'll just change my tube around.
Jaheim is, I would say, the perfect child. He never complains about anything. Jaheim's always wanting to help. I have to tell Jaheim he needs to be the child and I'm the mom, but Jaheim just one of them perfect kids. You can't ask for another child like Jaheim.
Thank you, Tarc. I love you.
I become to know Sasha when we became involved with Chance, when he became the ambassador of 2010. Sasha always knew there was an opportunity if she had a child, and it being a male, that there was an opportunity that her child would be born with this rare heart disease.
The doctor I went to here in Hammond told me that he saw something wrong, but he couldn't tell exactly what it was, but he did tell me it was a male. So I knew that, there was a possibility that there was going to be, some type of defect. We went to New Orleans, where Chance has always gone, and that's when the doctor told me that, exactly what was going on from what he could tell, because, they're only this big, maybe a little bit bigger than that, when you find out the sex of the baby, So it was probably the second time I went to that doctor. He gave me the option of if I wanted to keep the baby or terminate it, because some people don't want to have to deal with that. Some people can't mentally or physically deal with that. But I wanted to give it a shot because I saw what my mom went through. Chance is 10 now. I wanted to give this baby that chance, even if there was a chance that it did have a heart problem. I didn't want to terminate the pregnancy.
It was very difficult the day we found out that she was going to have a baby with heart problems. It was really hard. I think all of us ended up having a little bit of a breakdown that day, you know. And for me, I think I felt guilty because then we realized it was something genetic. So I felt like, you know, everything had started with me and it was my fault. But I've since then realized that, you know, it is something genetic and it's not my fault.
So my mom kind of sat down with me and pulled out what she had for Chance, explained to me what he had going on, to where I would understand a little bit of what Gabriel might have coming out. And then as Gabe grew, the doctors would, you know, draw these pictures for me to visually understand what was going to be going on. As soon as he came out, I knew he was going to have surgery. So what exactly he was going to have done. But I didn't expect it to last as long as it did. I thought that, okay, well, he's going to go in, he's going to have a heart surgery, and maybe a month later we're going to be out. But because his body didn't accept the shunt the first time, and the blood cells were breaking coming through the shunt, they had to go back in, put him on bypass again. He had to have the surgery again. His body couldn't get the sedative out as well as it should have, so he stayed on bed rest for 3 or 4 months until his body completely got the sedative out. And that was hard, because I was in the hospital the whole time with him. After giving birth, you know, coming out of 2 days, you should be going home and resting. Well, no, I had to go from having the baby to sleeping on a cold, hard couch and roughing it, because I wasn't leaving.
We really didn't even see our son move. You know, he went through a lot of procedures and a lot of rehabilitation. He didn't move at all. And I think one of the hardest things for a parent is that you can't hold your kid when they're in that kind of condition. And, you know, we pretty much lived at the hospital for the first 3 months. I would go to work and come home from work and be at the hospital. It wasn't going home then coming to the hospital. It was straight from work to the hospital, taking a shower in the waiting room lobby.
It wasn't 3 weeks, 4 weeks until I could hold my child. And that's what hurt me the most out of everything, was not being able to hold him.
Tarc's been amazing. We've had a lot of help from Tarc, especially with all the things we needed. I remember one of the first days we got to bring Gabriel home. They had 2 people from Tarc bring the milk pump and set up everything for us without us having to touch anything. You know, Tarc sent people home with us to help us out and have us prepared for the first night with our child.
I'm proud that he's an ambassador, because, you know, his face is on something that he is well known for. You know, anybody that knows Gabriel knows what he's been through, knows that he's had the heart surgeries, knows that he was in the hospital for extended periods of time. You know, they know his struggle, what he's overcome, and what he's been through. So being able to have his face, you know, on the pictures, you know, the billboard and everything like that, it's a very proud moment for me, because, you know, it shows what he has come through, what he's been able to overcome.